Welcome to the MMA Roadshow, episode number 587. My name is John Morgan, and Cold Coffee is with me straight up early in the week. We're getting together on a Tuesday afternoon, but
I don't think we've ever done a Tuesday.
I don't think we've ever done Tuesday. But you know what? We've never done a Tuesday, so when the idea first came in my head, it felt a little uncomfortable, and I'm like, well, I mean, we haven't even really started fight week. Normally, we like to share what we saw at media day or what was going on.
Yep.
And so it's a little early in the week. But the bottom line is, on CFFC fight weeks, not unlike last week, the schedule just gets insane, and I just have really like no time whatsoever. And thankfully, man, you've been so kind to be like, all right, I think it's gonna be this time, Cold Coffee. You know, okay, I'll make that work. No, it's gonna be this time. All right, we'll make that work. And then it's like, I'm just not gonna be able to do this at all. And then you do a great job. Like last week, Destiny McCullough, Jero, I'm always going to say Jero. I'm always going to say Jero. It's going to take me a while.
Like
Hero Guerra. I said it forever before I had actually formally met him, and then obviously before he was part of the staff, but just when he was around. But they filled in and did a great job. But I know you had to pull that all together on last minute notice. So I said, look, here's what we got to do. Much in the same way that I have to admit that I'm probably never going to a UFC media day again unless like I happen to be on vacation.
Is that still potential?
Bro, every Wednesday I feel guilty. Every
As
Wednesday
you should.
I'm like, I'm going to be there.
The last time you were so set, you're like, I'm going to be there. I was like, fuck yeah. I told people, I was like, John's coming. They're like, what? Really? I said, he's coming. And then, I don't know what it was, an hour later, I was like, John's not coming. And they're like, okay, yeah, cool.
No, I still feel guilty, man. Like, that was how I made my living for years and being there. And I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to the athletes and kind of sharing fight week with them and everything. So
you get the first glimpse at how they're looking, how they're feeling, how the weight cut, what they look like. They just got in town. They're maybe not drenched or dying because they haven't fully dived into their thing. But, yeah, I mean, it's
sets the storylines, kind of see who is
it can be tedious, but you're right. There's still something at the end of the day you're like, it's cool to be there.
It is really cool to be there. So, but now I've had to come to the realization that's probably never going to happen again. Maybe it will, but it seems like every day I take on more responsibilities. And this is of my own doing, of course, man. I'm just trying to learn every aspect of the business I can now that I'm on the promotion side of it. I want to have a hand in every little role that I can, and thankfully Rob Haydak has kind of let me work myself into all the areas. So I appreciate that. But it does mean the spare time is minimal. And I always thought, well, I can always go back to my room and carve out like an hour and a half, jump on. I mean, every time that I've missed, I brought my headset with me. I brought my stick mic and a little mic stand just so I don't have to do just the speakers of the computer itself. Trying to up the audio even for you to hear. So I have all the stuff with me, but it's just like, there's just so much to do. It's like you don't feel like, hey, team, I'm gonna I gotta duck out because I know everybody's got a million things going on right now, and I told you guys I got your back, but I gotta duck out for like 90 minutes to go knock this out. It just feels awful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you told them it was me, they might be understanding.
They might be like, cold coffee. Cold coffee. No, but so finally last week when I had to pull out for the last time, I just said, you know what, we got to stop this from happening anymore. I said, Cold Coffee, let's just do this. When it's CFFC week, let's just do Tuesdays. And yes, it's way earlier in the week than normal, and yes, we're going to have less to talk about in terms of media day, but it will just make me feel so much better when I fly out of town tonight knowing that I'm not leaving you hanging, and hopefully it'll make it easier for you too, that you don't have to be like, I wonder when this dude's going to call me and tell me now that he can't do something.
It was funny because I knew it was getting closer and closer. I was like, I'm just not even going to ask him to say whatever. I was like, I'm just going to start lining some shit up.
That's awesome.
But you did make the good call because I was initially just going to reach out to Destiny because I know that I had seen her like the day before, and I was like, well, fuck, let's bring Destiny. And you were like, why not Hera? I was like, dude, that is a really good idea. Yep. So, I was glad to have those guys on there and kind of get to let people introduce themselves, and people kind of get introduced to them and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
It is cool. And I loved how you guys kind of talked about a lot. I mean, it is like the new generation. You know what I mean? It is cool. Like, look, over time, I mean, we all value and enjoy our spots, but over time, you got to bring in some fresh blood and some new personalities, some new approaches, some new thoughts. That's a good thing, man. So good for people like them to kind of be stepping up and getting that opportunity. And I thought you laid it out perfectly. They both went about it the right way and how they've gotten there. So happy for both of them.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, it's like recognizing the effort. That's the same thing that we've had people for years and years. How do I get into this thing? How do I do this? How do I do this? Well, here's example A and example B of people that did it in their own unique way, but showed up, grinded, tried to get in there, and here they are. Even this last event, Destiny, for the most part, she's doing some stuff filling for like cage side press and other stuff, but she's still got a job, outside of that, which a lot of our colleagues have outside of it as other jobs as well. So when you work these events, in a sense, they could be losing money because they're not working their paying job and stuff. So she initially wasn't credentialed for it, and I thought she was because I was like, hey, you're going to see you at the event? She's like, oh, I didn't get credentialed. So here I am thinking like, they didn't accept you? I was like, well, fuck, let me go. I just took it upon myself. I was like, hey, Kos, what happened to this? Destiny, she's been on the event, blah, 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 blah. He's like, that's weird. There's only like 15 people. He's like, I'm not sure why she would get denied. I was like, yeah, I don't know. She just told me that she was or whatever, but I figured if she wanted to come, maybe we can make room because there's only so few of us. So I was like, hey, I reached out to Kos, was talking whatever. She's like, I might have maybe forgot to credential in there. I was like, I just legit went to the PR and said, why did you not let this person? And then I walked back to Kos. I said, I should just keep my damn mouth shut.
That's hilarious.
I was like, here I am trying to help somebody because I thought that we're still working up, and I thought I'd do whatever. And I was like, I apologize, Kos. I think they were just fucking mistaken and didn't do the thing. But they still actually, she made the decision and did get credentialed to work fight night. Late. So she was there on fight night. Yeah,
That's
they put her
awesome.
in late. But it was kind of funny. I was like, sometimes I find that when I try to help or do whatever, they don't need my help. I just find myself putting my foot in my mouth.
You know what, man? Me and you were both like that, I think, where it's just like, never like gatekeeping a relationship or like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, man, this is my buddy. If I can help him out with you, like, let me help him out. You know what I mean? 100%. So that's just natural. I think that's probably why we've always kind of hung out together. But that is funny.
It was funny. I was like, Kos, just forget that I said anything. I was like, I feel like a dumbass. I was like, she might not even put it in, but she did get in there. But it was awesome because it was great having her help on fight night because there was very few of us in a lot of things. So it was nice that I was kind of able to keep focusing on videos, and her and Harrow were kind of knocking it out of the park, and some of the other guys, it wasn't a big crew, but it was a good night of fights.
Good night of fights.
And Cop was amazing. I mean, Horiguchi, man, I felt so bad for that dude. He looked great going into it, but that's that power. But it was a fun event, so I was glad. I thought there would be more media there to kind of cover it, and so the fact that they were there to cover it, it was awesome. It made my night a lot easier because I could just focus on editing and didn't have to chime in much unless we needed to. And then bonus at the end of the night, Dana shows up, and the video blew out all the numbers on all the stuff. I was just like, what is Dana here for? Like
honestly, probably just throwing you guys a bone. To be honest with you,
it could have been. Even though he made us wait like 35 minutes after the fact. Like Manel came through, and they're like, he's still chatting in the back with Hunter. And we're like, this must be a really good conversation. I was like, are you sure he said he wanted to do this? And then he came out, and it was great because he was actually in really good mood. So some of the stuff that we got, the clips and the
just goes to show you, man. Show up to those shows.
Show up to the shows, and nobody shows up. There were literally, with her addition, 16 media credentialed, and there was not 16 in the room that night. So some of them could have been photogs or something, or some people that got in and just didn't show up.
Right.
So
well, and I don't think I'm not speaking out of turn here, and you tell me if I need to stop talking along the way. But even Harrow getting credentialed to the White House had nothing to do with MMA Junkie.
Did not.
It was because he came up on his independent as he had been grinding before he was ever even hired for Junkie. And when Zuffa Boxing had an event on Mother's Day, he said, you know what, man, I know it's on Mother's Day, but I've got to show my face. I've got to show, that I'm willing to be there, and that I'm going to do it, and that I'm here to cover these sports and show them that I'm reliable. And they were like, man, the fact that you did that, like, go ahead.
And he'll be there this Saturday. There's a Zuffa Boxing down at the Chelsea. I'll be out of town celebrating in Columbus, but he's going to be going to that as well. So, I mean, like, those boxing ones, if you do that stuff, Dana notices it. I mean, like, that was the big one that I think that helped Oscar get the White House as well, because he did that, was it Newark card or wherever it was, and then came straight back and there was a Zuffa Boxing or whatever. Dana came back in the back and was like, hey, come here afterwards. And I was like, see? And I mean, like, some of the Zuffa Boxing nights are fun. I mean,
they are fun.
I mean, it's just, I'm not the biggest, like, I gotta go see every boxing match, but it's cool when you go and actually see some, like, legit boxing, some fun boxing, and see some of the guys. And again, it's a home game. It's just literally so easy. We walk and sit in the same seats, we do the same thing, the same dance and routine, but there's some good fights. So, and look what it does. So yeah, I guess Zuffa Boxing is our. That's the way in, like, if you can start doing it. And plus, this town has a lot of boxing media. I'm still really surprised outside of the big major ones that they're still kind of like not showing up to this. There's a few that I see, and I understand what they might be doing, or maybe they're whatever. I'm not sure. I'm surprised if there's a boxing event that's going on, and some of these names, I'm like, why are they not here?
It's interesting.
You know, so
because right away you say, well, maybe they're trying to protect some relationships they have with some existing promoters and all.
That's the only thing I can think of.
But if that's the case, come on, man, you're doing it like. You're not saying, hey, man, I know we've been working together for 20 years. I'm done watching your stuff. I'll never cover your stuff. It's just like, hey, I cover the sport of boxing. I'm going to cover everything. You know,
is the sport so fickle that you can't not work one of their events? So you go to one of their competitors and you think they're going to cut you off?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, for all the people that say things about the UFC and all that, they never had a problem with us covering Bellator, covering Strikeforce, covering World Series of Fighting, covering whatever.
At the time we got the second laptop up, watching their event while we're there in the room.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So anyway,
it's interesting, but it still does surprise me. But it is nice to see that people that are taking the time to actually cover the events to get their foot in the door are being rewarded with now UFC credentials. So it's kind of cool.
I love to see
they're doing the right thing. So it was interesting. It was nice to give a little shout out to, like you said, the next generation from us old timers.
But we will make sure, and maybe from now, it's not that we won't make sure that the new generation will come on, but we just, I won't leave you scrambling last second to put all that together. So if you're a long time listener, just expect if it's a CFFC fight week, we're just going to get together on Tuesday. That way, it's done. There's no stress. There's no trying to put something together last minute, and we can still do the show together. And again, we can have some people in there and that sort of thing. Obviously, we won't go all the way back to the White House event. You guys talked about that. It was tremendous. I said going in, I was going to apply, and if I ended up on the South Lawn, great. If I didn't, totally understand. My role has changed dramatically. I'll be honest with you, I was almost glad I didn't end up on the South Lawn because I enjoyed watching that event. So the production, the television side of it was so good. Like, I really enjoyed soaking it in. And, we were in the media room for most of it, and just, obviously had nice audio and full screen and food, meals and hanging out. Yeah, and with buddies. But honestly, that TV was so good. I really am almost in a lot of ways, even though if they just said South Lawn, I'd be like, yeah, absolutely, I want to experience this. Man, I just that was some of the greatest television I've ever watched. So I really, really enjoyed it. And, they've gotten enough kudos at this point, but I just want to say that really, I do believe that's the greatest sporting production I've ever seen, just the way they tied everything together. And knowing how much work went into it and the way they pulled it all off, it was fantastic. I
was really glad that I finally, because I wanted to ask Dana on fight night, and I was able to get it out at the UFC the other night because I want to talk about the band. Me being a musician, I loved the band so much. Good. I thought they stole the show.
So good.
So I was like, did you have any idea how good these people were? He's like, Craig had talked about how good they were, and at one point Craig was like, you got to come out here and listen to this. And now he was talking about how they're working to try to release a CD of all the stuff, which is pretty cool. But he's right. He's like, wouldn't it be cool if that singer got like a record deal after all this, all the exposure? That would be so cool. But I was so floored by the walkout and the music stuff.
That was such a beautiful touch, man.
I was like, bro, why can't we have this every time? I was like, this was incredible. I thought it was like one of the coolest things ever. But that was definitely my music side. But they just crushed it. And the fact that they're all servicemen and women, I was just like, that's so fucking cool.
So cool, man. And honestly, most people that talk about it, like you said, they stole the show, man. Yeah. That's what everybody's talking about. So
even the fighters are like, bro, I like that walkout better than the original. And I was like, because some of you are just like, wait, is this the CD? You're like, no, this is them. You're like, this is so. It was so good. The singer was so amazing.
Amazing, man. They just nailed every aspect of that. So kudos to them. It was funny because last week I was obviously in Philadelphia for CFFC 155. 2 title fights. One of them ends in 12 seconds. The other one ends in 11 seconds. I've never seen that in my life. 2 title fights, 23 seconds.
Like, did they have to go somewhere? Did they leave the car running?
Crazy. I've never seen that. So that was crazy. But it was fun because I was coming in like I do normally on Wednesday. I take the red eye. Same thing I'm doing tonight. I take the red eye. Get there on Wednesday. And so the day before, my boss, Rob Haydek, he was like, John, he's like, totally forgot. He was like, when you come in, he's like, we got a luncheon we need to go to. He was like, so make sure you bring a suit because it was at the Union League of Philadelphia. So the Union League was who we partnered with to put on the event at Liberty Hill. And, we've talked about what a great organization it is, but I had never seen the downtown facility that they have. I'd only been to Liberty Hill, the golf course. Mm-hmm. And I'd heard about this downtown facility, and I joked about it because I never realized it until we were talking to him at Liberty Hill that, they've got this old historic building built in the 1800s. And I always just thought, they went and bought a building that was in downtown Philadelphia. Like, no, this is the building they built in the 1860s for themselves, and obviously it's grown around and they've expanded. So the artwork they have in there and the history they have in there, it's amazing. But anyway, so I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't know if we were just having like a meeting to talk about next year or whatever. No, it was actually a luncheon speaker series, and it was the director of the Secret Service.
Yeah.
So I was like, what timing is that like after this event? And he was talking about it. He was talking during the show about like some of the logistics, or during the speech portion about some of the logistics and how challenging it is, and laying out the fact that like every time they have like a ground road, they have to have like 4 different ones just all the logistics and everything that had to go on, and so around the show. And so I just thought it was kind of cool. Like, man, I got to go see this amazing event, got to go see the logistics, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
I know the logistics weren't always fantastic from your point of view because you were there all week having to wait hours, but then to get to hear him talk about it and just like how much stuff they do.
Yeah.
And, I didn't, and I Googled this to make sure it was public information because I want to make sure I wasn't sharing anything. They did say like, don't record any of this. But the Secret Service protects 40 people full time.
I would think it would be more than that.
40 full time, 40 at all time, and then it adds in when you have like candidates for office and things like that. But right now, the full
even
time,
the former
24/7
presidents, and then let alone the president's family and stuff like that. Like you could see his granddaughter who was there on the stage had a person right behind him. So 40 seems like it'd be even low. But
that's a lot of just that, and then you can talk about all the other stuff they do. Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was
what's
cool.
Interesting is I wondered if. He, unlike the FBI chief, had wanted to talk about the drone attacks and just start releasing the stuff from that investigation. Because the FBI came out and tried to say, "Oh, look what we stopped," but the Secret Service was the ones that were leading the charge. And then the FBI helped them and stuff, but I just thought it was silly. That was
it wasn't an open Q&A session, right? Yeah. I wouldn't even think about that. I did think
I wanted
that
to
was
ask Dana about that the other day, but it was like I didn't think about it till the very end, and I was like, "Lene, can I do one more?" She's like, "We're wrapping." I was like, "Fuck, I should have remembered that."
Well, it was interesting.
Yeah, I was talking about the band and shit. I should have asked about the drones.
It was interesting because at the White House, like obviously with all the fighters there, because normally when Dana's there, he'll get half an hour of questions, but they had all the fighters there, so
I didn't mind that at all.
No, it was nice to have.
It sucked how they were trying to cram them up, so the sight lines were a little bit distracting and made it tough. So we had to go.
But at least we didn't have to wait till the end
Dana
of the night.
Easily could be 30 minutes. Yeah. Justin could have been 30 minutes. I mean, Cyril could have been 30 minutes. We would have been there until 5 in the morning or more. So I was not upset about that.
But it was funny to me when that whole stuff came out about the potential drone attacks and everything. And I haven't read all the details, but I just remember in that pre-fight scrum with Craig Brassari.
Yep.
That's just even watching it. That's the one that stood out to me. That like pre-fight that he was like,
the
one thing they won't give me is they won't give me drones. They
Yep.
won't allow me to have drones. I was like, holy shit, look at that. You know what I mean? Like how crazy could that have been? How they said, yeah, okay, we'll clear some drones for you. That's good. The fact that they were like, nah, we're putting our foot down on this one.
Yep, which makes a lot of sense. But yeah, no, that's cool. But it's funny. I see when you talk about that building, made me think of like the John Wick series, like the Continental, like the building that's run by that, like the whole organization. Like, did they give you like these gold coins to pay your way when you were in there?
They did not have that, but it was so cool just walking around. Like, I mean, you've got like paintings on the wall from like 1820, 1800, like a big George Washington painting
some
from
old
back
money up in there.
Really cool to see. They've been around for a
cool.
while, man. So to actually see the whole facility and be a part, and just to go in there, like I said, be a part of him speaking, it was pretty cool, and talk about kind of all the things they do. So that was kind of fun. And then we got into fight week, and we had a great CFFC, and like I said, the crazy title fights. And now we're turning around this week. We'll have another CFFC. We get to have CM Punk back this week.
Oh, nice.
Been a long time. So
have you spoke with him? Is he stoked?
I have not. I need to. I haven't reached out to him yet. I know that he confirmed with Rob, but yeah, he's excited. I mean, that's what I always tell about Punk. Like, it ain't like Punk needs to show up to do it. You know what I mean? For any reason whatsoever. He comes.
He's doing okay.
He's doing all right for himself. Doesn't need the exposure. You know what I mean? It's not like, well,
people might know his name.
People might know his name. You know, so he does it for the love of the game, man.
That's
so
cool.
I'm excited. Kind of we're in the Chicago area, so it makes sense. You know, he can see some other people. So
get some Pequods.
Get a little Pequods. We're a little far away from Pequods. But I wouldn't mind finding
I know.
Pequods
is so good.
All right, listen, we'll talk about the UFC event this week. But I guess the other big kind of story right now is this new rankings that's been, or at least the meta rankings, as they are. I did get to sit in on a training call. I guess you would say a training call. An information call is probably the right way. Late last week, where a representative of the UFC basically kind of explained everything to it. And they spent a lot of time explaining it to us. I know like Mike Bond from MMA Junkie was on the call as well. There were a couple other media members that are well. So one of the things they said right away, and I did think this was important to fill out, they said, look, it's important to mention this is not AI. People are like, it's an AI ranking. It's not an AI ranking. It's actually a mathematical formula. It's a model that's been built very much like what they call it, ELO rankings, which I think started with chess is actually where they started, but basically and they're used all over the place now. Where it's essentially a statistical analysis of there's a value to each competitor that you beat, and then as they pointed out, one of the other things that they really are trying to stress is
where do they run this query in? Where do they run this query?
I don't know.
Do they run it through ChatGPT? Do they run it through GoPilot? Do they just run it through a spreadsheet?
That I don't know. See, I wish you would have been there. I wish you would have been there. Yeah, I wish you would have been there. So as it explained is that they came up with like multiple statistical models until it kind of mirrored exactly what they wanted, and then they did not release any details of what that statistical model are, at least not specific details, which obviously they're not going to allow that, right? Because then somebody else could just steal their proprietary property and use it for any other thing, right? But basically what they said is, first off the top, is that this is not designed to replicate what humans decide. It's like they want a difference. They want it to be pure statistical, pure mathematical, and yes, there's going to be some controversies. I saw one I didn't mind seeing with the meta rankings. Like Pat Sabatini came in at number 7 in the featherweight rankings. I was like, whoa,
I haven't really fully checked. The only thing I saw so far was, did you see the Angela Hill? Not a big fan. She got knocked out. She got knocked out of the rankings, and she was like, "I beat this person. I beat this person. This person hasn't fought in like 3 years or whatever." And so she was like, she was not a big fan of it. So I was like, okay, well, if she's upset, I mean, she has a right to be upset. Whereas us, we can be like, or whatever. But I do need to go dive more into it. But that's the only thing I've really started seeing, because I guess now it's live. But it's not like they're like, but still at the end of the day, it's not like they're going off number 1 and number 2 are going to be fighting. Like, that doesn't matter. They can still do whatever.
So right now, if you haven't been to the website, you'll see that when you log on there's the meta rankings, and then you can switch the page. There's like a little slider up at the top, and then you can still see the media rankings. So they're going to still do the media rankings.
Yeah.
I don't know for how long. I just know they're going to keep doing them. I'm still turning in votes every week. And I was told that the media rankings are still the official rankings, at least for the time being. And then after a while, they'll be replaced by these meta rankings.
The robots.
So I just some of the notes that I took as I was on there, like, it's kind of like an ELO system. Like, there's a rating for every fighter you beat. They did say if you beat someone, they think that you should be ahead of them. Now, there will be some exceptions from time to time, but they said basically if you beat somebody, you should probably be ahead of them. So their model takes that into account. The other thing that I really do like is they said that the model incentivizes what they call velocity, which is staying busy. The more that you fight, obviously it's going to help improve your ranking because you're going to keep moving up. You're staying busy. And the incentive, the flip side of that is called decay, which is basically the longer things go away, the less they become worth, right? So the value of your wins has a certain value within 18 months, and then after 18 months, it starts slowly decaying away. So the value of that win has less and less of a percentage. They said, I think it goes down. There's a 5-year window on old fight values, and then like at 10 years, it's worth 0. So bottom line is like your career wins start meaning less and less the further and further you get away from them. They did say that finishes earn more than decisions, but they did say, and I saw this in the Meta video, it was specifically said that split decisions are not worth less than unanimous decisions, because I think on that video that they released, it did say something like that. But maybe they just said finish versus split decision. But they did say they decided not to value a unanimous worth more because we don't always believe the judges got it right. So what does it matter if it's unanimous or a split? It's just a decision.
Why do they judge, like you said, a knockout or whatever, versus why do they judge that more so than the other if it's still a win?
Incentivizing the finish, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's what we're looking for.
Them putting the UFC's take on it.
But I would say we would do I would say from a manual perspective, from a human perspective, I did the same thing. I mean, I still do. Like
that was never one of your mandates for like the
true.
media ranking. You guys never said, okay, let's weigh the type of finish more so than any other.
No, that's true.
Which is interesting because then you're adding the perspective, the UFC's brand, just like when the jiu-jitsu, they're like, oh, well, we want this to be more exciting, so we changed the rule set to make it more action or whatever. Now you're inputting a ranking system that now is visibly rewarding them should you get these things. So it's not enough to just win, but they want you to win. And, like.
But devil's advocate, isn't it a more I'm showing domination? If me and you compete against the same opponent and you go the full distance with him, win, I knock him out in the first round. Don't we agree that I had a more dominant showing and I should be rewarded for that?
And that, yeah, but that's MMA math. Like one guy might take a guy and knock him out, another guy decision him, but then those two fight. And that guy beats you guy. So how do you rank that guy? Because you gave the other guy credit because he was able to get a knockout over him or whatever. So I don't know. It's interesting, but it's interesting to just, I guess, get the thought process of what sort of things they're adding into this thing. Well, okay, if we're going to toss out the system, how do we start doing a hierarchy that plays out to what we think is our exciting fighters or whatever? Which I think inherently the media, at least the person one, they try to look at I don't know, maybe just the overall stats of a person, because somebody
career record.
Yeah, like imagine the decisionator back in the day before he was getting whatever. Would he ever be up high because he got a bunch of decisions, or would be a guy that would be in mediocrity and never be up towards the top because he didn't get a bunch of knockouts or finishes or whatever? I'm just teasing on him because I still remember when Uriah Faber on the.
That was a good one.
Call him the decisionator.
The decisionator was a good one.
But it's interesting. It's certainly, because I don't think the media would ever be like. It'd be interesting, I think, for you to go back to the media and say, all right, guys, we need to change it, and let's just start rewarding people, for the type of finish as opposed to just whether they win or lose,
right.
And whatnot. I feel like you're adding things that maybe on an overall record, because nobody does it in boxing. Nobody's looking how many were knockouts or whatever. That's the stuff that comes out that it's interesting, but you're not penalizing the guy that still gets the wins, but maybe just can't get those big flashing knockouts. And in this system, maybe it holds him back, even though he's giving every effort, But it's just interesting. Not that it's bad, but it's I guess it's a nice insight to see when the UFC says, okay, this is what's important to us in our rankings. This is the kind of stuff that we want. It all goes to Dana's speech. Be Joe Pyfer, go out there and do whatever. Now they're incorporating it into the ranking system, So it's kind of interesting.
Everything that it's funny. I hadn't thought about that because I kind of agree with what they're saying. Is of value, but yeah, basically what they're saying is finish fights, fight the toughest opponents available, and fight as frequently as possible.
Fight a lot.
Yeah, so it's
and you can rise the rankings,
and
that still doesn't mean we still
might, and then we still.
You'll still get skipped.
Might not give you the title shot. We still might get Mozart. You know what I mean?
Oh, is that what it's called now? Getting Mozart?
Yeah, they Mozart him. Mozart, that guy. Just left him sit there. No, I think Mozart's up next. So
he should be.
I think Mozart's up next.
Bro, that could. But it's funny because everybody understands what the fuck you meant when you say that. That's how crazy that is.
I just Mozart, my boy.
Ah, man. Damn.
But anyway, yeah, I'm excited to see. So they did say the media rankings will stay the official rankings for now. I don't know how long they're going to maintain, but I can't imagine you want to do it too long, right? At some point, you just rip the Band-Aid off and let's go.
Yeah, because then people get confused. What means what? What are they choosing the fights from? If they're saying, we're just honoring the existing system because we're just not ready to turn that switch off, or something. Maybe they're still holding out to see what the initial response is. Fighters didn't like the media rankings all that well as well, so I'm sure there's going to be some fighters that don't like this ranking as well, but
at least now you can be at least now, because you're right, because right now, trust me, I would have fighters reach out to me sometimes and be like, yo, man, what are the rankers looking at? And I'm like, well, I don't even know who the rankers are, you know what I mean? So I can tell you what I look at, and I can tell you what we're told to look at, you know what I mean? But it was weird that there was no, answering for it or whatever, and I get it why, they never wanted to publish everybody's individual votes because then they know they're just going to get attacked on social media, et cetera. And then why would anybody want to vote? It's I kind of understand all of it. But at least this time it's just look, man, nobody's in here dicking you over on purpose. This is the way this is the numbers the computer spit out. What do you want me to do?
And it's one of those things, especially with the frequency of fighters getting. That's not that that's ever been something that people have ranked for, but it's something that people have always talked about and said oh, it's really cool. Cowboy fights every other weekend, or Kevin Holland fights every other weekend. But now that the actual system is rewarding them, for actually doing that, doesn't mean that if that's the thing that the UFC says, well, we have an issue with the rankings. Couldn't they have brought that stuff up to the media rankings and say, can you guys maybe start catering your rankings and pay attention to these sort of things? We think these are valuable, instead of scrapping the whole system and going with something, that is whatever they say, formulaic or whatever, is using AI at some point in there, But still, I mean, there's definitely some interesting things. I mean, I think a lot of us were wondering, well, what can you possibly change it? But the fact that they're now putting that stuff into it, which I think people, when you talked about even pound for pound and other stuff, it'd be interesting when they try to how they justify that sort of thing if they start doing the pound for pound.
Interesting. They did say like we're not going to have a pound for pound at first.
Yeah.
They were like, that's going to have some kind of different system. So I think they're trying to figure out a different system for pound to pound. They said they tried 50 plus different models. And obviously that doesn't mean completely from the ground up, but at least they like, hey, let's try this. No, we want to make this worth a little bit more and then see what it is. They've been tracking this for a while.
I'd be wondering to see like what results they're getting, that they're like, okay, this is obviously not working. That'd be funny to see like who it pulled into, like all of a sudden, we're seeing like
wait, Strickland's still number one? No, I can't.
Or like Nico Price somehow is the number 6th one because of his frequency and how much fun he goes for. If you're willing to get knocked the fuck out and go out on your shield, you get extra bonus points in the ranking.
It's fun. Like, so obviously like Sabatini, obviously I'm a CFFC cheerleader homeboy, but I always thought he was kind of like right outside. That was the hardest part of the rankings, I think, from the manual perspective, is like, when is somebody worth bringing into the top 15 if they didn't actually beat a top 15 guy to get there? You know what I mean? Those guys that were hanging out in like 16 to 18 or whatever, where do they go? So
they really got to start working on the criteria of how long somebody can stay stagnant in that thing. I mean, if this helps that, if the fact that they haven't fought in almost 12 months or whatever, like you got to start moving.
Yeah.
If there's not a health issue or some sort of thing where, for some reason the fights went through, but if there's good faith that people are trying to get fights and if it's shown that it doesn't look like the fighter is accepting fights in good faith, start moving them down.
Yeah.
Let the guys come up.
That's definitely big. So that's the decay part of it. So I think they said there's an 18-month grace period on that. If I took my notes, it's still a long time.
That's a really long time.
It's a long time.
Some people get in and out of the UFC within 18 months.
But I guess the combat of that is that while you're not going down, other people are going up because they're, they've got the velocity of the staying busy and that sort of thing. So we'll see. I'm interested. Look, I'm open to this, and I can see some people like, oh, man, now you don't get to vote anymore. Like, bro, I've spent my time voting. Like, that is fine. That is certainly okay. I've enjoyed it, and I like being a part of it.
Yeah.
But I got enough to do, and it takes me a couple hours every weekend. So
no more awkward nights for people when they're like, which one of you's on the media? Which one does the media rankings?
Those faceless, anonymous people, who are they?
I always loved it because I was like, not me, not this guy. I can tell you there's one or two in here.
One guy in there, I know. So that's good, but at least, like I said, now there's no human conversation about it whatsoever. Like, it just is what it is. So we shall see. It's not going to be perfect, I guess, but I guess,
And I would still figure that there's still some sort of human oversight in the results that are being kicked out as well.
Supposedly not.
Really?
Supposedly, whatever it says, it says.
Wow.
Supposedly. Now, because that was my thing, is like, well, what if you have this, but you have somebody that at least just kind of looks over it to be like, well, that doesn't make any sense because he literally just beat him head to head, and now he's ranked right behind him. Like, don't you you know what I mean? But they say it's going to be just all legit is what it is, so.
Interesting. Yeah, because I know in the media rankings, look at that. I know that was just talking about when Angela Hill, she was 12th in the media rankings. Mizuki Inoue is 15th, or just Mizuki as it's listed.
I know, just Mizuki, which always bothered the hell out of me in there.
But it's funny. I was like, who the heck is Mizuki? I was like, oh, Inoue, but she's number 9th. That's a huge jump. Jump up 6 spots, and she hasn't fought since like July of 2025.
Yeah.
How do you jump from 15 to the top 10? Not even 10. Number 9, bro. That's a big
the model.
That's the model.
That's the model.
I mean, she is adorable, so I guess the AI is like, we love Mizuki, and I get that. But yeah, so it's be interesting. But yeah, she hasn't fought since October of 2025. Oh, I guess it was October. I thought it was July. I read that wrong. But no. I mean, people are gonna be upset. People are gonna do whatever. But it is what it is. But. In 6 months' time, people won't be talking about it. It's just because it's brand new right now. The sign's not even on the building yet, and eventually, people won't even talk about it.
Completely agree. All right, UFC is going to be out in Baku, Azerbaijan this weekend. A quick reminder to everybody that if you want to watch it live, don't forget that you've got to check in bright and early in the morning. I believe 6 a.m. I think
6 a.m. our time.
Yeah, for Las Vegas to get the prelims started. Which to be honest,
so is that the prelims? Oh, that's not so bad though.
No, so then your
6 a.m. is not bad. I mean, like some of these 3 a.m. ones, like it's brutal. Like some of these 1 a.m.s, it's kind of interesting watching fights from the bed and then dozing off. Like 6 a.m. though, I've been getting up at 6 a.m. That'd be awesome. I'll just listen to that shit, take my walk. Like, let's go.
See?
Let's go, Baku.
I think I'm actually gonna be flying home, so I'll try to watch it on the plane as much as I can, and then catch the rest of it once I'm here.
No, don't take Southwest, man. My Southwest internet issues the last couple flights have been garbage. Yeah, and I'm just like, what's the point? So luckily I downloaded a bunch of stuff on my iPad, but I was like, the last one was like the flight from DC back to Vegas. No power and no like inline systems, and then their Wi-Fi kept going down. I was like, "This is torture."
Yeah, because as long as you got some power and Wi-Fi, like I don't care if we're delayed or circling or whatever.
We'll make do, you know. But I was luckily I had even my power started running out the very end, my earbuds and other stuff. I was just like, thank God this wasn't a longer flight. People would have started losing their mind. People are already starting to freak out about the internet, and I was just like, get us on the ground. People are going to lose their minds.
That's funny, man.
So yeah, don't take Southwest.
Let's see. Last week flying home, so Sunday night fight card. For the last couple of years, I've been doing a show on Monday morning with Grind City Radio. That I can say is coming to an end, but we still have one more week to go. But I wanted to do one.
The grind is over.
The Grind City Media tour has ended. Enjoyed working with those guys, Memphis Grizzlies, Eric McMahon. Probably good timing for both of us, to be honest. Eric McMahon's getting
busier and busier.
Yeah, and he's getting a lot of big assignments, and so we talked about it, and it was just like, man, this is probably the right time to end it. Yeah, it is. I'm happy for him, but you know, like anytime we started talking about like refereeing type stuff, like I appreciated his insight on weighing in, but I always worried that he was going to say something that was going to like upset an athletic commission or get him in trouble. So it's like it's different roles, you know what I mean? It's different roles and.
We've lost people jobs before. You know, so we try not to do that.
So we don't want to do that. So anyway, it's a good time to come to an end. But it was funny because so I figured, all right, well look, fights are Monday. I'll take the Monday evening flight home and I'll do the podcast from Washington D.C.
Nice.
But around the time we'd record would be about noon Eastern. I was staying in a really small hotel room because DC's expensive, man. But for this hotel I found, it's called the Architect, I think it was called. It's an old historic building, like right by all that stuff. Like I was a very, very short walk to the White House. The location is awesome. But it's like an old building that is super clean and updated, but just really tiny rooms. But like if you're a solo business traveler, this place I could not recommend it enough. If like all you're trying to do is like
get
sleep
to the mall
a little bit, have a little desk space to work on.
Is the room super small?
It was like New York City small.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
My room was so small.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
But for me, just for me in there, like, and for the cost, because I mean, it's coming out of my pocket. You know what I mean? I'm not charging off to any company or whatever. So I was, me being especially nice. But so this building, the Architect was the name of it. It just sticks with me because it was a weird name.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody's ever going there by themselves, super close to the middle of everything. Just if you're trying to bring your wife or your girl or something like that, like don't book it because it's tiny and they're not going to
need multiple rooms or something.
100%. But we did that. So anyway, you'll get a kick out of this. So I was like, all right, well, I got to leave at 11. I was like, I can't really do it from in here anyway. This room's so small. So I was like, you know what I'll do? I'm going to go to the Admirals Club in Washington, D.C., and DCA, Ronald Reagan, they have just done this huge remodel of, like, the whole Admirals Club. Like, it's one of the nicest ones in the country now, right? And so I was like, let me see what they got. And I was like, I wonder if they got conference room. Yep, they got conference rooms. They got conference room that they'll rent to you for, like, $60 an hour. I'm like, okay, that works. Shit. You know what I mean? So I go there, and I'm like, go in, check in, get to the airport early. I'm like, hey, by the way, noon, I was like, any chance I can get the conference room, please, for an hour? And they're like, yeah, hang on, no problem. We'll get that for you. Boom, boom, boom. What'd you say your last name was? I'm like, my last name's Morgan. Oh, man, somebody's actually got it from 12 to 1. Like the 1 hour you need, somebody actually has it. So I was like, damn, what can I do? And he's like, all right. He's like, what do you need to do? He's like, you just need to make some phone calls. Technically, I need to report a podcast, but I'm like, yeah, basically, I just need to make some phone calls. He's like, come on, I'll show you. And he showed me these little call areas. And they do have like little cubbies that are like kind of soundproof, kind of like for calls. Yeah, kind of. He showed it to me. And I was like, yeah, this will work. So I go set up in this little phone booth. And at the time, I guess there was like a lot of planes that were about to take off or whatever. And so it was kind of busy and milling about. I'm like, oh, this is going to work. Perfect. So I jump in there, throw on my headphones, and just start doing the show and start talking. And about 20 minutes in, an employee like opens the door, and I could tell like it's my voice, dude. I can't help it. Like I don't know. And I guess like some of the flights had left and stuff like that. So now there's not so much background noise anymore. And so they open the door, and I can feel them just like hovering over me. but I refused to turn and make eye contact. I was like, no, I'm just going to pretend they're in my peripheral. I'm like, you're either going to have to jump up in here and get right in my way, or we're just going to pretend like nothing has happened, and you're going to close the door, and I'll be out as soon as I can.
Oh, my gosh.
And, so they just never jumped in. I never turned and made eye contact.
How long did you end up taping?
Probably like another 30 minutes after that, and then I got done.
Did you try to quiet down a little bit?
I did, but you know how that's like basically impossible for me. But I did try, and so finally, like when I got done, I walked outside, and I'm like, it was like the walk of shame as I walked out of there. Like people are just looking at me like, Jesus Christ, you're loud. So
that's funny.
That was kind of a funny end to my Washington D.C. trip.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. when we've been warned in those lounges before.
Kicked out. Kicked out. We've been kicked out of nicer establishments than this. All right. By the way, it was funny. I was looking at the parent. Did anybody? And I did watch that scrum the other night. Did anybody bring it up to Dana that you can't watch the whole events on replay yet?
No.
We need to bring that up. And I know we've talked to UFC staff sometimes that it has to do with music and live rights and stuff like that. But especially this, this is the way just Paramount Plus has set it up since the deal started. But I would, especially for this event, like the other day, I don't know. I sense people's frustration. They can't just go watch the damn event again.
I mean, if you miss it live, I mean, you're kind of screwed, and that sucks. That does sucks. Because they sell like it. Because you're just so used to being able to go back and watch the archive of it. You know that it's just kind of like one of those things. You're like, well, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but yeah, it's definitely not the same.
No doubt about it. You missed the walkouts, missed all that stuff. So, all right, over in Baku, Rafael Fiziev, Manuel Torres, great main event here. Kind of the tail end of the rankings, I guess you would say. Fiziev, a guy that we've been excited about for a long time. That's just been obviously he's a great personality. I love him on social media. His fighting style is spectacular.
Yeah.
But man, he has struggled to get results as of late. And Manuel Torres, if it's not for that setback he had against Ignacio Bahamondes, I mean, this dude could be way up in the list right now. It's an intriguing main event, man. It feels like kind of a crossroads type thing. I know Fiziev has the Azerbaijani background, and so this is massive for him and a big opportunity, but certainly no gimme in this opportunity. And to be honest with you, man, I kind of like Manuel Torres in the fight.
Yeah, and it's funny because I have to put my stat picks in. The more I was just looking at it, yeah, part of me was like, I feel like Fiziev, yeah, he still got it, but you're right. I mean, Torres also, too, is just this. It's funny we talked about because we thought he was younger than he is. He's like 31 years old or something like that, and we thought he was still like mid-20s or whatever. I mean, he's sharp. He's got it. But, man, Fiziev is he's got like that little mini Gagey part of him that, it's hard to count out, if it becomes a brawl. But, I think Torres is smart enough to kind of keep that distance and work that hands. But, yeah, I'm still torn. I probably will end up going Torres, but, man, I feel like Fiziev still got something in the tank. He's definitely not washed up by any means, but I think you're right where he might be near the tailing end of his career. But, we've been saying that about Gagey forever. And look, the dude just won a darn title, so when I say that he's like a little mini Gagey he reminds me of his fight style. I feel like I can't now go against him, but I don't know. It's going to be last minute because I know the stat picks have to be in by Thursday, and I'll probably put them in tonight if I think about it after I have a few drinky drinks.
Birthday week. By the way, we all after we tape this, we will get to hang out a little bit tonight. We're going to go celebrate a little bit before I jump on a plane to get out of here. So we're actually, my wife and I are going to show up and hang out with you for a little bit, and then I'm going straight from there to the airport. Jump on and get a little sleep on the way to Chicago and head that way.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. Fiziev 1-4 in his last 5, right?
Yeah.
But two of those losses are to Gaethje.
Yeah.
And then you got Gamrot and Rufi, which are obviously incredible fighters.
Yeah, but we just saw Rufi just jump into the way up in the
looks
ranking.
So good.
So yeah,
looks so good. But look at this low key list of bangers that Manuel Torres is fighting. Now Frank Camacho, you got to be a hardcore to know Frank Camacho. That dude is a banger, right? He goes out there and bangs every time. Then you Nicholas Mota, Chris Duncan, Drew Dober, Grant Dawson. I mean, that's granted that's not Gaethje, Rufi, Gamrot, but it's pretty damn good.
But it's good. It'd be interesting if we would have saw that Beneil Dariush, because that would have been equal, like big rug, big high level. But yeah, I mean, Dawson is dangerous. Dober's tough as nails. I mean, like both those guys have done some great stuff. Duncan's tough as nails. I mean, yeah, I mean it's a good list of names. Maybe not quite to the same pedigree, but
No.
I mean they're still solid names. And he's coming in here on 2-fight win streak. I mean he's feeling good about himself, and he's got such great energy. And those were all, look at these bonuses. Dawson was a performance of the night. Dober, performance of the night. Duncan, performance of the night. Mota, performance of the night. Camacho, performance of the night. Dude's ranking in the bonuses. So I mean, that's pretty cool. That's just, that's the kind of shit you figure would be in these rankings too. Like you're talking about the way you show up, frequency, and the way that you're getting things done. If you get 5 bonuses, I would think that you're probably going to get a little boost up. So
that's interesting. I guess the only reason I would argue against that, because it does make sense. But then if you remember, you're trying to take the human element out of it, and humans are deciding who gets the bonuses. So
is Dana and them a human? Are they? No, I'm just kidding.
The robots are taking over.
Michelle
Pajeda and Shara Magomedov. I like Shara Bullet in this fight, but stylistically, like, can't ask for much more fun. I feel like they're just trying to make it exciting. Nazim Sadikov versus Matias Camilo. Nazim, obviously, Nazim came through CFFC as well. I think he's a fantastic fighter. Asu Amabayev and Charles Johnson should be a great fight.
That should be a fun one.
Bruno Ferreira and Ikram Alaskarov, that's a banger of a fight there. Abbas Magomedov, Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I mean, dude, it doesn't stop. Then you get down to my boy Eric Nolan coming out of CFSC. They're sending him overseas.
This is his since that debut. This is his first
one back.
Time,
right? First one back. He had a fight canceled.
Was that Contender Series?
No. So he got the Contender Series, and then I'm sorry, Bicycle Series.
That
got
was
the Contender Series.
Yes,
and then,
that was Basanger.
And then they brought him in to be in the UFC, and then he got hurt leading into his next fight. So, dude, this fight card's fun, man. Yakyaev is down there against Julius Walker, Ruzaboev against Puliev. Con Offley. I mean, there's some good fights. It's going to be a fun day, man. And, come on, man, fights in the morning time so that you can still have your Saturday night.
That's okay.
Not too bad. And
then, that's a good card.
And then is it a week off before International Fight Week? Is that the schedule?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, that's right. So we got this. So we got a morning fight. Then we got a week off. And then we got International Fight
Then we got the return of Conor effing McGregor, dude. Can you believe that?
I can't.
It's just crazy. It's crazy to think it.
I mean, I can because, like, dude, I was the one that
because we had Independence Day between this.
Yeah.
Next Saturday is July 4th, so, yeah.
I was the one that all along said, Conor's coming back. But even within probably the last 6 months or so, I started going, yeah, I guess maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But
it's happening. It's crazy. Last 2 fights. Done.
Man, that's good.
We'll see if we get through this one and see if that last one happens. But I think Conor's trying to get out of his con.
I think he wants it done. Why not? Hit the free market.
Hit the free market. See what his value is. Let alone some of these. He could go over to MVP or something, pick up some crazy boxing thing or something. I mean, or something. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. But just to have the freedom back to where he can pick one-offs doesn't mean he won't ever fight for the UFC. Maybe he'll just do some one-offs or whatever. But the fact that they're not trying to lock him into another long-term repeat sort of contract or something, but he's taking back control, and if he's happy, the middle ground that they're able to find, the UFC's happy, cool. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to see the Conor McGregor fight weeks of the beginning where it was just a madness, where they just took over the streets and stuff. I just don't think he has that same beloved fan crowd that goes. I think there's people that still revere the memory of what he's been able to do and will do stuff, but I don't think we'll get the same sort of crowd
effect. The media turnout is still going to be massive. Huge. The mainstream, like the places that don't, not as big as the White House because that was, outside of outside.
Yeah.
But the media turnout will be huge.
Yeah.
But you're right. The Irish singing and chanting and walking down Las Vegas Boulevard and shutting it down like that ain't happening anymore.
You're going to see some fans, but don't forget this is what they call Ninth Island or whatever they call
Ninth Island.
There's going to be a lot of people rooting for Max here, and the crazy thing is that the people that love Max still have appreciation of what Conor's done for the sport as well. So they're going to be loving both sides, but I don't think you're going to see as much of one particular side booing the other one. I think both people are going to be pretty interesting to see. But it'd be interesting to see if Max people boo Conor when he comes out, or if they're still just it's Conor. I don't want to boo Connor because we're happy to see Connor, but it'd be interesting.
I'll be interested the whole week. I mean, we got a couple weeks to build up to that, but just like I'll be honest, the recorded piece that was on the White House, as amazing as I thought that night was, that might have been one of the flattest nights or moments of the night, right? Where they're just kind of like arguing at each other and like Max is over it, and obviously like Max has been around fighting. He's just like whatever, it's kind of like. The mystique. There was at that one point, man, at the highest of high, like McGregor could say no wrong and do no wrong, and then it didn't matter because he was going to go out there and whip your ass anyway. You know what I mean? Now he's lost a couple times. He's gone through a hell of a lot outside of the cage in terms of personal issues and all that. Legal issues. So I don't know, like the just like over the top screaming, "I'm going to take off your head" or whatever. It was just like, I don't know, it didn't hit for me that much. But it's still, trust me, when Connor's at the press conference and the crowd's going crazy and Connor's making the walk, like it's going to be amazing. But it's not quite like Connor fight weeks before where there was just magic in the air.
Yeah, and it's always, International Fight Week's always kind of an extra special little week, Still interested to see if they're actually going to do a fan expo. It seems like the DC one might have been the big fan expo, so we might not be getting a fan expo. So that puts a different sort of feel on the International Fight Week. So it'll be interesting to see, how the whole week just plays out and what the feel of the crowd and everybody, but it is still a Conor Fight Week. So
it's still a Conor Fight Week. And it will be the World MMA Awards as well. Fighters Only World MMA Awards. They're back. They're going to host it on that week, and then everything will be back to a normal calendar, which I'm excited about. I mean, it was it was out of their control that it was not a normal fight. Trying to go outside?
I don't know.
Got to do a little pet sitting while we're here. I don't mind pitching in.
Well, yeah, he's old. He's old. He can't hear, so I can't tell if he's fucking trying to go out or not. You want to go outside? That's how we end the show.
This is how we end the show. So the World MMA Awards will be back that week. And as I said, if you haven't seen the headlines, basically what they're doing is everything that was up for grabs and it was being voted on, they're going to give away those awards because they were the voting period and those were, awards that were voted on. So give them away. But what was determined was that because that was that July to June voting period, so it ended in 2025. So now you've got June to December 2025. That what they're going to do is, and I think I can talk a little bit about this, but they're going to there's a way, and I don't know if I can talk about all of it. They're going to reward things that happened during that time, and then starting this year, 2026, like it'll go back to January 1 to December 31st, and those will get honored. Probably International Fight Week next year, I would imagine, but at least it's like. I think that used to be confusing where you would be, I forgot that was February or that was April. You know what I mean? It's like, no. Let's just make the calendar year the calendar year.
Yeah.
And obviously that was always the intention of the awards.
Yeah.
And then it was COVID that screwed everything.
That threw it all off.
But it got confusing, right? Like I think it was, that was July 1st to June 30th. Yeah. Like
it's so hard.
It's hard to keep track of it. Yeah. So anyway,
yeah. So I never got that nomination because of that half-year stuff.
The half-year stuff is what really took it away for Cole Coffey. My man should be Journalist of the Year. Let's just remember that when it comes time to vote for next year, all right? When it comes time for those nominations, you already know. So, all right, listen, we're going to go celebrate your birthday a little bit. And like I said, I will be in Rockford, Illinois this week. So you happen to be in the Chicago area, you want to come by CFFC 156. It'll be our first time at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Like I said, CM Punk will be on the mic. Interim heavyweight title in the main event, Jackson Stanford, Bevon Lewis. Jackson Stanford stepped in, actually. Vitor Resende was supposed to put his heavyweight title on the line, was hoping that a title defense would get him into Dana White's Contender Series, but unfortunately got a little sick in training camp and had to withdraw. So Jackson Stanford, undefeated, all first-round stoppages, stepped up on short notice to fight for the interim title against the vet and Bevon Lewis. Also, the co-main event was added late. Will Starks and Roland Pruden. So Will Starks, of course, former champ, lost the title 4 weeks ago to Kevin Pease. Obviously, a shocking result. I mean, not that we didn't think Kevin Pease could win the fight, but not like that.
He took that shit.
Amazing.
That was solid.
And so Will was like, man, get me back. Like, obviously wasn't hurt, but I am frustrated, and I want to show that wasn't me. Get me back in there.
Yeah.
Roland Pruden now, 7-2, coming into the CFFC for the very first time. He actually fought just a couple of weeks ago on the regional scene, had a title fight that ended in a no contest in the opening round. So kind of similarly, he was like, dude, I was in a main event and ended in a no contest. Like, I want to give me a big fight. And so this opportunity came up to pair them together. So those are our two featured matchups, 6 bouts in total on UFC Fight Pass, 10-bout lineup overall. So, yeah, make sure you join us on UFC Fight Pass. Make sure you want to check out the prelims, onlyfans.com/CFFC MMA. Like I said, myself and CM Punk. First time this year. I don't know if it'll be the only time this year. You never know. You get Punk when you get him.
He's a busy man.
He is a busy man. And, of course, you and I will be back to a more traditional schedule next week in the week off. Maybe that's the day where we have a few cocktails or have a friend over or something like that because it's a week off for all of us. Maybe we'll find a guest or
there we go.
Do a little day drinking or something.
At least the day drinking for sure.
I don't know if I actually want to talk to anybody else. We can definitely crack open a frosty beverage. You know what I'm saying?
We'll see. We'll see
how it goes. All right. So hopefully everybody's okay with these Tuesday afternoon shows on Fight Week. Like I said, appreciate Cold Coffee's flexibility all along in working with CFFC schedule. But this is the way we're going to combat that going forward. So it'll be early in the week, but at least we won't have to miss or leave Cold Coffee scrambling. So appreciate your understanding, and thanks for listening.